Okay, I'm going to do my homework. Let's read this question. These are my new sunglasses. Do you like, is it, she, or them? I just don't know what to choose. Let's just skip it. Okay, we couldn't live. Their house was very small. Is it us, my, or our? I don't know what to choose. I'm just so confused. I really need some help there.
2,000 years later.
I don't know which one should I use. It's so confusing. I know pronouns can seem very overwhelming and confusing to learn, especially if you have just started learning English, because there are many pronouns out there. So, do you have to memorize all of them? What are pronouns? How can I use them? So in this video, we're going to learn all about pronouns, explaining them in details, how to avoid making mistakes while doing speaking tasks and exercises, and also how to put them in a sentence correctly. Hello everyone, I am Ms. Zainab and I've been teaching English as a communication skill since 2016. First thing first, we're going to define what pronouns are and how to use each one of them. This is going to be my first beginner video in my beginner series. In this series, I'm going to teach you basic grammar from a beginner level. So if you want to start learning English from a beginner level with me, keep on watching. Now, let's get into the lesson. I know there are many types of pronouns out there, but in this video, I'm going to only teach you the basic pronouns in order for you to speak English correctly and communicate efficiently. At this certain stage, you don't really need to learn all pronouns. Just learn the basics and then work your way up. Pronouns replace nouns. Using a pronoun depends on two important elements. Number one, the type of a noun being replaced, whether it's a male, female, plural or singular, or even a thing or a human being. Number two, it depends on the function that the noun has in the sentence. If it was subject, object, or even possessive. First of all, we have subject pronoun, which replaces the subject's name. We mainly use it to avoid repetition of the subject's name. Now let's check out the list of subject pronouns. These are the subject pronouns. First of all, let's start with the first subject pronoun, which is the personal subject pronoun, and it is I. For example, I am 20. You seem lost. He, Jim is angry, so he needs Sally to apologize. As you can see here, instead of saying Jim twice, we used subject pronoun in the second sentence. Jim is angry, so Jim, we can use he instead to avoid repetition. He needs Sally to apologize. Let's check out another sentence. This table is old. It needs to be repainted. So instead of saying this table twice, I used it to replace it. They don't like pancakes. Now that we're done with subject pronouns, let's move on to object pronouns. Object pronouns replace the object in the statement or the clause, and they usually come after the verb, whether directly or not, and we use them again to avoid repetition. Now let's check out the list of pronouns. As you can see, the first pronoun we have is me. For example, she gave me the letter. You The teacher wants to talk to you. Him. Jack is hurt because Bill hit him. So instead of saying Bill hit Jack, we can say Bill hit him, which is Jack. The same. Her. I received a letter from her. Not her. Usually students say her. No. Her or her. Her. It. Mark can't find it. Us. Don't be angry with us. Them. Tell them to hurry. Now that we're done with object pronouns, let's move on to the possessive pronouns. Possessive pronouns replace possessive nouns, whether it's a subject or an object. Let's see the list of possessive pronouns. As you can see here, the first possessive pronoun we have is mine. For example, the bag is mine. Yours is not blue. His. That bag looks like his. Hers. These shoes are not hers. Ours. These cars are not ours. Theirs. Theirs is not parked outside. You need to bear in mind the meaning of these pronouns in Arabic or in your language. The fourth type we have is not a pronoun, it's more like a determiner. We call this type possessive adjective. And as you know, adjectives come before the noun. So when we want to say this in English, I say my shoes, and this, your homework, his basketball, her bike, its leg, our house or our house, their school. As you can see, they never come alone. You need to put a noun next to them. Now that we're done with possessive adjectives, let's move on to the fourth type of pronouns. Fourth type of pronouns, which is intensive and reflexive pronouns. Reflexive and intensive pronouns, they both serve a different function in a statement or a clause. Now let's start with explaining each one of them individually. Now let's talk about reflexive pronouns. Reflexive pronouns reflect back on the subject or the object. So when you have the subject or the object, they are the same, we use reflexive pronouns. Let me show you how. I told myself to calm down. So we have subject and object. They are both the same. They are both me. So I say I told myself because I'm talking to myself. I told myself to calm down. The next one is yourself. You like yourself. Himself. He hurt himself. Herself. She found herself. Itself. The cat threw itself. Ourselves. We blame ourselves. Themselves. The children should learn how to take care of themselves. Now that we're done with reflexive pronouns, let's see intensive pronouns. Intensive pronouns, they emphasize the subject. However, they are not the object, and we can always remove them if we want to without changing the meaning of the clause. Let's see some quick examples. I made these cookies myself, so I am emphasizing on myself. Yourself. You yourself asked Jake to come. Himself. The Pope himself pardoned Mr. Brown. Herself. The teacher herself did not know the answer. Itself. The test itself was not scary. Ourselves. We finished it ourselves. Themselves. They themselves asked me to come. Now I hope you understand all about these basic pronouns. If you have just started to learn English, you need to learn these first. So now, as I promised you, let's check out the mistakes that most of my students make.